CCTV cameras sometimes capture what many believe to be evidence of the paranormal. A CCTV camera system in the Philippines was recording a busy market. Usually, it captures nothing more interesting than a bit of a petty theft. But one day, the security guards watching the CCTV cameras witnessed something horrifying. Everything else on the CCTV camera footage appears normal, but the guards' eyes are immediately drawn to a woman who can be seen walking around the market. There's something wrong about her. At first, they can't figure out if it's just a glitch or if something genuinely strange is taking place. This is the footage. The woman's head appears to glitch and distort, almost like a camera fault, except it's not happening to anyone else. Everything else about her seems completely normal. But the scary thing is, in the Philippines, there is a common superstition that if someone appears in a photo or video without a head, it means they are going to pass away very soon. And within seconds, the CCTV camera captures this. The woman sadly passed away. However, the guards kept replaying the footage over and over again, convinced they had witnessed proof of something paranormal. According to them, the superstition that someone without a head in a video is about to pass away is true, and that's exactly what the CCTV camera captured that day. A young man named Nick caught something disturbing on camera while at his grandma's house. Sometimes, when his parents go out for the night or work late, Nick has to step up to look after his grandmother, who is suffering from dementia. Her illness often causes her to act confused, like she doesn't know where she is or what she's doing. Usually, Nick just needs to comfort his grandma, and she snaps out of her confusion. But one night, he sees her standing motionless in the kitchen, fixated on something that apparently only she can see. He asks her what she's doing, but she acts like she can't see or hear him. Not knowing what else to do, Nick starts recording a video so he can show his parents what happened. And that's when things take a spooky turn. Nick's grandmother can be seen standing in the kitchen, staring off at something off camera. Suddenly, Nick's dog starts growling as if it senses something is wrong. At first, Nick thinks the dog is growling at the Roomba, but then something can be heard crashing to the floor and the video cuts off abruptly. Off camera, Nick discovered that one of the porcelain angel figurines his grandma used to collect had fallen off the top of the fridge, and what was so creepy about this was that the figurine had been placed quite far back, nowhere near the edge. So how did it end up falling? Some viewers suggested that Nick's grandmother is experiencing something called sundowning, which describes heightened confusion dementia patients experience at night time. However, that doesn't explain why the angel figurine suddenly crashed to the floor. A few nights later, Nick is back at his grandma's house when something even more terrifying happens.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Oh, that's cool. Jesus!
Nick thinks he sees his grandmother standing in the kitchen again, so he quickly starts recording, but instead captures the Roomba moving around. As he records, the Roomba moves slowly towards him, falling off the steps and even moving backwards. Nick starts to feel as if it's chasing him and tries to get away, then the Roomba suddenly flips over. Anyone who owns one of these robot vacuums knows how impossible it would be for them to act this way. They usually follow a set path around a house and even have built-in sensors to stop them from falling off edges. Now, it's possible that this Roomba was malfunctioning, but that doesn't explain how it flipped over. As many viewers have commented, Roombas are heavy, so it would take a lot of force for something to flip one over. This has led some to speculate that the Roomba is being controlled by something, perhaps a poltergeist or a trickster. That would also explain how the figurine fell to the floor and why Nick's dog was growling. On May the 25th this year, Jorge Nava was driving home from work. It was late and Jorge was stuck in traffic. Jorge was alone in the car, or at least he thought he was. His dashcam, which records both the front and back of the car, captured something in the back seat that Jorge couldn't explain. He had no idea what to do and no idea what to think, so he started recording on his phone, planning to upload the clip to social media to get some answers. This is what he caught on camera.
Ver algo de susto. Una cámara se ve a alguien subiendo atrás. Y pues no hay nadie. Y yo aquí en el carro cagándome de susto claramente.
Something can be seen in the back seat of the car. Something that looks very much like a person sitting there. But Jorge shows that the back seat is completely empty and that he's the only person in the car. What's even more mysterious is that somehow, whatever this is, it only shows up on the dash cam. Jorge can't see it, and his phone camera doesn't pick it up either. When he shared the footage to his social media, some viewers immediately speculated that this is just a simple case of pareidolia, when the mind imagines shapes and faces in random patterns. But Jorge says there's nothing in his car that could create the effect of a person in the back seat. Many think that it could be the ghost of an old woman who passed away inside a car. Perhaps she haunts this stretch of road, phasing in and out of unsuspecting drivers' vehicles. But what's your verdict? Let me know. Having building work done on your home can be very exciting. Sometimes it can even reveal some strange things that you would have expected to find. And sometimes these things can be downright scary. One homeowner was having some alterations made to their ceiling, which left them with a hole into the roof cavity for a few days. Late one night, they were home alone, hours after the builders had left. The homeowner was cooking in the kitchen when he felt a strange sense of being watched wash over him. He couldn't figure out what it was until he looked up and saw something in the roof cavity. Scared, but driven by curiosity, he got his stepladder and quickly took a look up there with a flashlight. However, it appeared to be completely empty. Trying not to think too much of it, he went back down and continued cooking, but within minutes, he saw it again. This time, he pulled out his phone and started recording. At first, it's hard to see anything, but after brightening the footage, something seems to be crouching up in the roof cavity, staring down at the homeowner. The homeowner recorded it for just a few seconds, then he left the room and called a friend to come and take a look. Neither of them could find anything up in the roof cavity. The homeowner later uploaded the footage on social media, and viewers began to speculate. Some suggested that it could be a case of simple pareidolia, the mind trying to make sense of shapes in the darkness, but others think something much darker was going on and that this could be some kind of paranormal entity. The homeowner thinks this would explain why he got the spooky feeling of being watched even though he thought he was home alone. In this case, the homeowner knew something was there when he started recording, but in this next clip, the poster had no idea they were capturing something creepy on camera. A family from Utah believes their dog has attracted a ghost. Back in 2024, they noticed their dog began acting very strangely. The dog was usually very calm and well behaved, but he suddenly started barking and whining at night, as if he was scared of something. He also began looking around the house like he was searching for something. The family was confused by his behavior and even started joking that their dog was haunted by a ghost. But then, one of their security cameras captured something unsettling, and the dog's behavior stopped being a joke and turned into something genuinely creepy. The dog abruptly jolts awake with a yelp and rushes up onto the sofa. Viewers think it looks like he was scared by something and rushed to his owners for protection. Some even commented that they could see his fur and tail moving in the footage, even though there was nothing visibly near him. The family now thinks that their dog really has attracted a ghost, but what it wants is a mystery. So, what do you think is going on here? Drop a comment and let me know. Dacia Solis recently installed security cameras around her house after she noticed objects going missing. At first, Dacia thought that her young daughter must have been hiding things, but when she asked, her daughter insisted she had never taken anything. Dacia wasn't sure what to believe until one night, the camera in Dash's living room captured something creepy. Dacia and her daughter were in her bedroom. She had just tucked her daughter into bed when she suddenly got a notification on her phone telling her the camera had sensed movement in the living room. And the scariest thing was, no one else was in the house. Heart racing, Dacia opens the app and sees this. What looks like a small child can be seen peeking out from behind the wall. If Dacia hadn't been in the same room as her daughter at the time, she might never have realised that something was wrong. Dacia now thinks that it wasn't her daughter who had been causing the mysterious disappearances of things around her home. It must have been whoever or whatever this is. However, Dacia doesn't think this is human. In fact, when she posted the clip to her social media, she called this creepy figure, quote, the ghost girl, suggesting she thinks something paranormal was at play. Many viewers think that Dacia's home may be haunted by a mimic, a kind of paranormal entity that mimics the behaviour of humans. Could it be that it's mimicking Dacia's daughter? If you thought that was creepy, wait until you see this next one. The Dog Daddy Official is a dog trainer who posts content to his social media to promote his business. He recently moved to a remote part of Alabama, USA. It's a large area of land, surrounded by forest and far from the nearest town. Living out in the wilderness, he thinks he won't have to worry about people accidentally wandering onto his property and disturbing his dogs. But back in September 2025, someone approached his front gate, and from there, things took a scary turn.
Sorry, what'd you just say?
I heard you had these beautiful black German shepherds here, so I came down to say hi.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is it okay if I come in just for a quick second?
Oh no, we don't really allow visitors in.
I came a long way just to...
How do you even know they were here?
Somebody told me. This is where you...
How did you get here? How did you get here?
I walked from all the way down the road. Someone dropped me off.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, no, we don't really allow visitors. We just moved in, and you know, these dogs, they're out here with me now. They're friendly, but we have some rescue dogs and even protection dogs and behind the other gate over there. So, you know, we don't really have a open door policy.
I'm really great with dogs. Is it okay if I meet them? You'll see, I'll show you.
No, if these guys, they're out, if they want to come say hi at the gate, it's okay, but we don't really have any visitors on the property.
I mean, this is like the only... There's like...
No, don't open the gate. Like I said, the dogs in the back, they are not as friendly as the ones that are out here, so please don't open the gate.
I'll show you. It's just gonna be a quick second.
No, not today. Maybe another time, but we're not allowing visitors. And I don't even know how he got here.
I told you I came down the road. Listen.
Can you just let go of the gate?
I thought you were nice. I just wanted to say hi to your dog.
No, we are nice. We just don't allow visitors on the property.
The woman repeatedly asks if she can come onto the property, despite the dog trainer telling her no and explaining that he has dangerous dogs on the other side of the gate. What's even stranger is that the woman tells the dog trainer she walked a long way to get here and that she knew about some of the puppies he had on the property. When the dog trainer asks how she knew, she replies,
Somebody told me?
that immediately creeps him out because he hasn't told anyone about those puppies. But it gets even creepier. That night, at 3 AM, the dog trainer is suddenly jolted awake when his guard dogs start barking loudly. That's when he sees a figure creeping around his property in the dark. He calls the police, suspecting that it's the same woman from earlier, but they can't find anyone. It's like she just disappeared. A few nights later, his dogs wake him up again. This time, the dog trainer goes outside to take a look.
Listen, you need to leave now. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna let them out. It's midnight. What are you doing here? Leave now. It's midnight. We're not... We're not playing any more games. You are agitating my dogs. I told you late at night my guard dogs are out, and they're out. I'm not gonna be babysitting. You broke into the property at 3 in the morning.
Is that what you need?
They're gonna come out.
I just came to bless you and your dog.
You need to leave now. You need to leave now. I'm letting them out. Don't come any closer. I'm gonna let them out.
You don't have to let them out.
I'm gonna let them out.
Don't do that.
They're here and they're waiting.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna leave. The police has been looking for 4 days now. There's no one around. This is my place. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know where you're coming from.
I just came to bless you.
I'm letting my dogs out.
Don't do that.
She disappeared. What the hell?
The same woman has wandered onto his property again. It's past midnight, but she keeps saying that she, quote,
I just came to bless you and your dog.
You need to...
Weird. Then, when he turns around to let his guard dogs out, she vanishes from sight. The dog trainer has no idea where she went or how she even got onto his property in the middle of the night. So far, the police have been unable to find this strange woman, leaving the dog trainer paranoid that she might turn up again. A few weeks ago, an anonymous Reddit user received a strange call from his mother. She asked him if he could help her install security cameras around her home. Under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be anything to feel concerned about, but the OP's mother lives out in the countryside with no towns or even roads nearby. It's usually a peaceful place. Curious, he asked her why she needed the cameras. Her response sent a chill down his spine. She said that someone or something had been coming onto her property in the dead of night. The OP installed the cameras the very next day, and that night, one of them captured something that just didn't make sense. Something appears next to the tree in the OP's mother's front yard. It's there for less than a second before it vanishes into thin air. The next morning, the OP's mother woke up to several alerts on her phone telling her that the cameras had detected someone in her yard. Horrified, she called the OP and together they watched the footage from the cameras, but neither of them could come up with a logical explanation for what they saw. The OP's mother is convinced that she is being haunted by a ghost, but what do you think? Sam, from the United States, claims he's been tormented by a ghost for months. It started with a strange feeling that he was being watched, and things have only gotten worse since then. Desperate for relief, Sam paid to have his home professionally exorcised and cleansed. Then, hoping to escape whatever was haunting him, he went and spent a week in a remote cabin in the woods. It was somewhere the ghost couldn't find him, or so he thought. But then, late at night in the cabin, Sam is relaxing, thinking he is finally safe, when suddenly he hears something. Filled with dread, Sam grabs his phone and starts recording. What looks like a head can be seen peeking out from behind a chair. So, where did the head come from? Sam says he didn't see anything unusual at the time. He only heard strange noises, as if something was just out of sight, tormenting him. He posted the clip to his social media as proof of what he claims has been haunting him, and viewers were immediately freaked out, with many advising him that it's not his home that needs to be exorcised, it's himself. Because whatever this is not attached to a place, it's attached to him. And if that clip wasn't scary enough, here's another one. A man called Ryan was working in his garage workshop when he suddenly heard something that sent a chill down his spine. Ryan was completely alone, or at least he thought he was. Coming from the attic above him were strange noises. As he listened carefully, trying to figure out what those noises were, they grew louder. To Ryan, they sounded like voices. Ryan quickly checked, but there was nobody in the attic. Creeped out, he grabbed his phone and started recording.
What's that, man? There's stuff up here. Left from the previous owner. Oh. Oh my god, dude. Oh.
He leaves the workshop and tries to forget about the voices he heard, but 5 days later, he hears them again.
I got the light on. Listen to this. Listen to this. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Is anybody up here? Is anybody up here? Oh my God. Is anybody up here?
Something appears in the darkness of the attic. Ryan hurries back down the ladder and out of the workshop. He tells a friend what happened, who helps him search the attic, but nothing is found. Desperate, Ryan installs a security camera in the workshop, hoping that he might finally catch some proof of what's been happening. This is what it caught. All this leads him to believe that the attic above his workshop is haunted. Horrified, Ryan heads up into the attic to see once and for all if anyone is up there.
That video was terrifying, but I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm going up there. I mean, this stuff is old, bro. What is this? Rebuild. 2000 what? 2013. 2013, man. This sounds like what it must have fell over. I mean, this is crazy. Uh-oh, what is this? Uh-oh. What is this? Mr. and Mrs. Ronald J. Oh, whoa. I don't even know if I want to be touching that. Where's the last name? It looks like it was snapped off.
Just as he had expected, Ryan did not find anyone in the attic. All that was up there was old items left by the previous owners of the house. Ryan is now convinced that the reason why he can never find anyone up there, despite all the noises he has heard, is because the attic is haunted by a ghost, one that hides away from him whenever he goes up there. Creepy. Many paranormal enthusiasts spend their whole lives searching for evidence of ghosts and the supernatural, but some never find any proof. Meanwhile, some people capture evidence completely by accident. That's what an anonymous mother thinks happened to her son. She explains that her son was playing around with her phone one night. He opened the phone camera and started recording randomly. The mother had no idea anything was wrong until she was going through the footage her son had recorded. What she saw in one of the videos was enough to seriously scare her. What seems to be a mysterious face appears next to the woman's son. He apparently doesn't notice anything, but the camera very clearly captured something there. When the woman first saw the footage, she began wondering if her home might be haunted, and her son accidentally caught the ghost on camera. She uploaded the clip anonymously to the internet, explaining that she sometimes catches her son talking to himself when he's alone in his room. She thought he was just playing, but now she's not so sure. Part of her thinks the ghost she believes might be haunting her home has attached itself to her son. But what do you think? Abandoned and empty houses are often considered hotspots for paranormal activity. Craig, a man from the USA, has been renovating his wife's grandmother's old house for a few months, and during that time, he's experienced some inexplicable events. Craig explains that his wife's grandmother passed away decades ago, and they have recently started renovating her old house, hoping to one day turn it into a rental property. However, one day, when Craig is about to leave after working in the house, he spots something creepy and starts recording. Something that looks unsettlingly like fingers can be seen pulling down the blinds to look through the window. Craig even thinks he sees a face staring at him. Creeped out, he rushes back inside, but there's no one there. However, when he looks at the window, he sees a set of fingerprints in the dust on the inside of the blinds. Craig shows his wife the clip, who begins to speculate that the old house could be haunted, perhaps by the ghost of her grandmother. A few days later, Craig and his wife buy their daughter a toy camera for her birthday. Little did they know, she would end up catching something mysterious on it. The little girl's camera captures what appears to be the face of an elderly woman. Craig doesn't recognize the face, so he asks his daughter who's in the photo, but the girl is very young and just doesn't understand. So Craig shows the photo to his wife. She immediately turns white and hurries to find an old photo album. She flips it open and shows Craig something he'll never forget. A picture of her grandmother taken in the early 90s. She looks exactly the same as the woman in the toy camera photo, but she passed away decades ago, making it impossible for Craig's daughter to have taken a photo of her. And that's not all that happened. The next day, Craig is working on renovations in the old house, and a security camera captures this.
Hey, Missy? Miss? That was fucking weird.
A sudden thumping sound puts Craig on edge. At first, he thinks maybe his wife had come into the house without him realizing. He calls out to her, but there's no response. No one else is in the house, but that's not the scariest thing. As Craig turns to leave, an unsettling growling noise can be heard. Some viewers tried to explain it away as just a regular noise that you might hear in an empty house, or perhaps even a car sound from outside, but others are convinced there's something very ominous about it. So, is the old house haunted? If it is it by the ghost of the grandmother who passed away several years ago? Or has something much more frightening moved in? Drop a comment and let me know. On the 20th of September 2020, a father was playing with his sons when he accidentally caught something on camera that creeped him out. At first, everything seemed normal. His sons were laughing and play fighting. The father recorded them on his phone, planning to send the video to his wife who was away from home. However, as they were playing, one of the boys gets distracted by something. It's only for a second, but it gives his brother the upper hand in the fight. The footage ends soon after that, and although the father didn't notice anything wrong, something mysterious was caught on camera. In fact, it wasn't until the father sent the video to his wife that they noticed anything out of the ordinary. This is what was caught.
A ver. Eso pa eso, eh.
The father sees that his son is looking at something and points the camera in that direction, but doesn't see anything. However, their camera shows that something seems to appear in the corner of the room, what looks like a face, with its mouth wide open, as if it's screaming, can be seen. But when the camera moves back to the same spot, whatever was there a second ago has mysteriously disappeared. This has led the father and many of his social media viewers to think that he accidentally caught a ghost on camera. But what do you think? Is this a ghost? Let me know. March this year, heavy winds swept through Destiny Casey's neighbourhood. She and her partner worried that a storm might be rolling in, but by nightfall, the wind had lightened and the couple began to relax. Destiny went to bed at around 10 PM and fell asleep quickly, while her partner stayed up to watch TV downstairs. Soon enough, he had also fallen asleep, but about an hour later, both of them were suddenly woken by a loud bang and a flash of bright light. A security camera in Destiny's bedroom captured what happened. Here's the footage. The footage very clearly shows the lightning flashing outside, but after re-watching it a few times, Destiny noticed something else, something that didn't make any sense.
So that's me in bed, there's a TV. Look in this general area, okay? This corner of the room, and tell me if you see what I see. The lightning strikes, look in this bottom right corner. Wait for it. There. To the brightness down a little bit. Okay. What is that? Do you see that?
When the footage is slowed down, something can be seen on the floor of Destiny's bedroom. The moment the lightning strikes, it appears. Destiny thinks it looks like someone crouching there, but they vanish as soon as the lightning strike is over. Neither she nor her partner can explain it, so Destiny posted the clip to her social media account, looking for answers. Some viewers tried to reassure her that it was likely just an artifact of her camera, which visibly glitches when the lightning hits the house. But that wasn't the only creepy thing Destiny's cameras recorded that night. Shortly after the lightning strike, a team of firefighters arrive at Destiny's home to check for potential fire hazards, and that's when something really creepy happens.
Not that I mean, we've had like city blackouts, but the neighbors still have power, so.
As the firefighters talk to Destiny and her partner, one of them keeps looking over at the couch. It's as if he can see something over there. Initially, he dismisses it as a trick of the dim lighting, but the camera caught something interesting. A few minutes after he started looking over at the couch, the firefighter shines his light over it, and that's when this happens. Did you see it? The couch cushion moves, almost like it's popping back into place after someone stood up from sitting down on it. But the scary thing is, there was no one sitting there. No one we can see anyway. Some viewers say it could be because the firefighter knelt on the couch, and that's what caused the cushion to push back into position like that. And that's not all. Destiny lit several candles around the house after the lightning strike caused a power outage. After rewatching the footage several times, she soon notices something happening with the candles.
had like city blackouts. Papers and not power stuff. Situation. And Richard inside the house? Yeah. Well, let's just give it a check. It's in that back corner.
The candle closest to the couch can be seen burning brightly, but is then suddenly extinguished. Seconds later, when one of the firefighters walks over to the couch, he pauses and says, "I thought I saw someone there." What's even stranger is that this is a different firefighter to the one who kept looking at the couch before, which means that two different people noticed something off about the couch. Destiny and her partner can't help think that something paranormal entered their home that night, and that it was somehow linked to the lightning strike. And if Destiny's footage creeped you out, just wait until you see this next one. Not all spirits can move objects around or interact with things in the living world. In fact, many ghosts and other kinds of paranormal entities are said to only be visible on camera and totally invisible to the naked eye. So, we might not notice a ghost even if there was one right in front of us. Yeah, like right now. But if we took a photo, we'd see it. This unsettling realization dawned on Reddit user Amphibian, who took a disturbing photo back in 2014. She explains that she was a kid at the time and had a habit of taking photos of just about anything. One night, she and her family were watching a movie together. Her dad, his partner, and her brothers were all in the same room. Amphibian was just a kid, and as kids' minds often do, hers started to wander. Feeling bored, she snapped a photo of her dad while they were watching the movie. But when she looked at the photo, she noticed this.
As soon as I looked at the photo, I remember the distinct confusion and how I looked around the room, making sure that everyone was in here with me. And then I asked if my brother had somehow pranked me. Everyone else got really confused too, so I showed them the photo, and it's like everyone simultaneously lost their souls at once. I hate this photo. I really do. I hate looking at it and avoid it as much as possible. The glass door that the face is looking through is frosted, and it doesn't reflect anything or show anything from the other side, which has always confused me. Also, the front door is right behind my dad, so it's impossible to fit a full sideways person there.
According to the OP, no one could find a logical explanation for this bizarre photo. The only way she can think to explain it is that this must be something paranormal. But what does it want, and why is it watching her family? A young mother whose husband recently passed away believes her home security system caught a ghost on camera. One morning, not long after her husband passed away, she and her baby are at home alone. Needing to do something in another room, she leaves him in the living room for a few moments. The front door is open, but the screen door is pulled across. So, although her son can see outside, she doesn't have to worry about him running off. But then, after only a minute or two, she hears her son talking to someone, followed by the alarming sound of the front door slamming shut. She quickly checks on him, but her son acts like nothing happened. And there's definitely no one else in the house. Confused, she checks the security camera footage to see what happened, and what she sees leaves her in tears. The baby appears to see something or someone outside and tries to open the screen door, but it's what he says that shocks his mother most. The The boy then turns and walks away from the door with one arm raised above his head. Many commenters have said it looks as if someone we can't see is holding the boy's hand, leading him away from the door. What's even more surprising is that the door slams shut as soon as the baby has walked away from it, even though no one was there. The young mother shared the footage to social media with the claim that the ghost of her husband saved her son from escaping that day. But what do you think? Was this a spirit watching over his son, or is there another explanation? A nurse from the United States claims that she encountered a ghost in an empty hospital ward. The nurse explains that the entire 4th floor of the hospital she works at has been closed for a long time because of plans to relocate to a new building. She and a few other staff members were working the night shift one day when a security guard asked them to come and take a look at something on the 4th floor. Knowing the 4th floor was supposed to be empty, the nurse thought that this was a strange request, but she and some co-workers went along anyway. One of her co-workers, who had worked at the hospital for longer than her, explained that the 4th floor was haunted by the ghost of an elderly woman who passed away there several years ago. The nurse was skeptical, but as soon as she and her co-workers got up to the 4th floor, they felt an unexplainable chill. Then, as they approached one of the rooms with the security guard, they noticed the lights flickering on and off. The nurse wanted to show her co-workers what was going on, so she pulled out her phone and started recording.
You need to come to 369 because we're experiencing a ghost.
Big time.
Literally.
There it goes.
Seriously, come look at this.
Now it's gonna stop. So if you know it, say hi.
Ethel.
Paul?
Ethel, what's wrong with you tonight? What? What's wrong, Ethel?
Where is the like?
The lights inside the empty hospital room are flickering, and the TV even seems to switch on by itself. But what makes this recording so creepy is that this is supposedly not an isolated incident. During the clip, some of the nurse's co-workers can be heard calling out to someone named Ethel and asking her what's wrong. It turns out the elderly woman who passed away in that very room was named Ethel, and it was just hours after she passed away that the creepy activity started happening on the 4th floor. So, did the nurse capture evidence of paranormal activity that night? Or is there another way to explain this mysterious footage? Let me know. World Cuisine is a YouTube channel that usually live streams cooking videos, but this live stream is different. The live video shows the uploader demonstrating what he claims are his ki powers. In Chinese philosophy, ki is believed to be a life force or energy that flows through all living things. Some practitioners claim they can harness and control this energy, using it to perform supernatural feats. And in this video, which was originally live streamed on Chinese social media, has left viewers stunned.
水月不会完没有？好，水月会完了，水把调整出来了啊。一个墨镜，保洁保会，正能量如果不要气就不要吐的。一个墨镜，有没有朋友？
Several plastic bowls and other objects can be seen rattling around on the ground. Viewers watching the live stream accuse the man of using strings or wires to move the objects, but the man insists that it's his ki that is controlling them, nothing else. And to prove it, he does this. He walks around between the rattling objects with a long brush, demonstrating that there are no strings or wires, but viewers aren't totally convinced. A few shaking bowls isn't enough. They want to see something more impressive. So the man grabs a piece of paper, places it on the ground, and does this. After supposedly directing his key at the paper several times, it suddenly bursts into flames. Live viewers are shocked, but the man still has more to show them.
是大感谢大哥雨后彩虹，雨后彩虹大哥是么样？我把笑容给你发一发，雨后彩虹，雨后彩虹。
He removes his hat and places it on the ground in front of the camera. It sits still for a moment, then starts flying up and down in the air. The live stream continues for around 55 minutes, and the objects keep moving and rattling the entire time. As new viewers join, the man demonstrates the lack of wires again. He runs a broom around between the objects, picks up chairs and moves them, even picks up one of the plastic bowls and turns it upside down, but nothing stops the rattling and movement. Toward the end of the live stream, viewers ask to see the fire trick again. Just like before, the man places the paper on the ground, points at it, and it bursts into flames. The video went viral on Chinese social media. Viewers compared what the man does to powers seen in Chinese martial arts films. Some believe this is genuine demonstration of supernatural key powers. Others remain skeptical, convinced there must be some kind of trick or explanation. But what do you think? Is this man really harnessing supernatural energy, or is there something else going on? Comment and let me know. Reddit user Andrew recently uploaded a photo to the Paranormal Encounters subreddit. He believes he caught a ghost on camera. Andrew lives alone in an old house, and according to local rumours, the former owner passed away in mysterious circumstances, whose spirit can't move on after they tragically lost their life. Late one night, Andrew sees a dark figure in the corner of his vision, but when he looks around, it doesn't disappear. Horrified, but determined to finally get proof of what's been haunting him, Andrew quickly snaps a picture with his phone, and here's what he caught. A tall, dark figure can be seen lurking in the shadows. Just a second after taking the photo, the figure disappeared, but it was the clearest look at it that Andrew ever got. He's now more convinced than ever that this is the ghost of his home's former owner, and the fact that it was visible for so long makes Andrew wonder if it's somehow growing more powerful, perhaps even feeding off his fear. But what do you think this is? Did Andrew really catch a ghost on camera that night as he thinks? Let me know. Cemeteries are understandably considered to be one of the most haunted places in the world. Many people claim they have seen ghosts, heard disembodied voices, and even seen objects moving around on their own. Still, several cemeteries around the world are open to the public, and people often take walks through them. A man called Archie is no different. He often walks through his local cemetery and thinks nothing of the graves and ghost stories. However, one day he witnessed something strange. A set of wind chimes near a grave seemed to move on their own, almost like they had been hit by something he couldn't see. When he told his wife what happened, she suggested he place a trail camera near the grave to see if anything strange took place that night. He did as she suggested, and the camera ended up capturing this. Something that looks like a pale figure was recorded near the grave by the trail camera Archie had set up is visible for a few seconds, then it vanishes entirely. Archie initially wasn't sure what to make of this creepy footage, but he has since come to believe that he caught a ghost on camera that night. Many viewers are also convinced that the recording is real evidence of the paranormal. But what do you think? Is this really a ghost? Let me know. Super Zach RNX is a young man living with a condition. He often experiences hallucinations, particularly of shadow people that appear around him. To help manage his condition, he wears a GoPro camera around his neck at all times. That way, if he thinks he sees something, he can check the footage, and if it's not there, he knows it's a hallucination and can calm himself down. One night, Zach was going through an episode and started freaking out because he believed someone was standing in his bedroom doorway. His girlfriend just didn't know what to do, so she called an ambulance. Zach's GoPro recorded the whole thing, and what it captured raises a disturbing question. Was he really just hallucinating?
They're not gonna let me go past it. They're not gonna let me go past it. Somebody's there.
We're right here,
I'm telling you, somebody's at the door and they're not gonna let me go past it.
What are they wearing?
They're wearing blue. But
Good,
someone's
good.
there and they're not gonna let me go past it. Someone's at the door.
I need you to sit up, okay? Can you do that?
Listen, there's no need to apologize. Whatever makes you comfortable, okay?
Thank
We're
you.
here for you.
Okay?
Zach repeatedly tells the paramedics that there's someone standing in his bedroom doorway. They assume he's hallucinating and try to calm him down, but then something drops to the floor in the doorway. It's not clear what it is, but could it have been connected to the person he was seeing? About a week later, Zach is at home relaxing and watching TV. He and his girlfriend had installed security cameras around the house, and suddenly something happens that makes Zach wonder if he's not the only one seeing unsettling things in their home.
Hey, what's wrong? What? What? Where? There's nothing in there.
Zach's girlfriend suddenly screams from their bedroom. Zach jumps up and runs to see what's wrong. She says she saw someone in the bedroom, but when Zach looks, there's nothing there. This shakes him, because if his girlfriend saw it too, then maybe some of the things he's been seeing aren't hallucinations at all. Maybe they're ghosts, or something else haunting their home. It's a terrifying thought, but it's about to get worse. One day, Zach is in the kitchen when he starts having hallucinations again. He thinks he's having a conversation with someone, but his GoPro shows there's no one there. But then, a noise behind him gets his attention, and when he turns around, he sees something he can't explain.
Stop bringing that up. Stop saying that. You always wait till now to say that. Bro. Alexa, light on.
The curtain hanging across the doorway moves as if something is behind it. Zach assumes it's just another hallucination at first and tries a technique his doctor taught him called visualization dismissal. He goes behind another curtain and repeatedly pulls it back and forth across his eyes, a method that usually helps him calm down and distinguish what's real from what's not. But the curtain across the door keeps moving. At the end of the clip, it even gets pulled upward, then suddenly drops back down. All of this was captured on Zach's GoPro camera, which means something was definitely happening to that curtain. If the camera hadn't been recording, would he have gone on assuming he was just seeing things? Or is something genuinely paranormal happening in Zach's home, mimicking the hallucinations he's been fighting against his whole life? Michael is a gaming streamer from Florida. He generally uses his social media accounts to post clips from his streams, and has never posted anything paranormal until one night. He and his parents experienced something that just didn't make sense. According to Michael's parents, they had been woken several times by something tapping on their window in the early hours of the morning. They didn't know what to make of it at first, but since they had a home security camera installed, they decided to check the footage, and what they saw made them immediately call Michael for help.
Alright, look, it's starting now. The security light turns on. It picks up. And then it walks back. It's at the corner of the house. You see him walking? It's like a short guy. And then you see the trees move. Y los árboles se movió.
Y camina, es una persona, no es una persona chiquitica, muy chiquitica.
Camera picks up what looks like a see-through figure moving around the property just before 4:30 in the morning. Michael claims that the fence around his yard is much taller than any human and bordered by thick trees and bushes, so he and his parents are incredibly doubtful that anyone could have gotten onto their property in the middle of the night, but Michael claims there was definitely something there. The motion detecting light even switches on just as the figure comes into view, suggesting that it sensed something large enough to trigger it. Michael thinks that the figure looks like a person, but he can't explain why they appear see-through, and he definitely can't explain why and how anyone could have been in his backyard at 4:30 a.m. His parents are convinced that whatever this is what has been tapping on their window and waking them up. So, could Michael's security camera have picked up a ghost on the property? Or could there be a more logical explanation for this scary video footage? I'll let you decide. Back in 2009, Donna Ayres experienced one of the saddest things that can happen in a person's life. Her father tragically passed away. Ever since then, Donna has been at the center of some very strange activity, leading her to believe that she is being haunted by the ghost of her late father. In 2014, after years of creepy events taking place in her home, she moved into a new place, hoping to finally be free of the ghost. But when the activity continued, she started recording some of the mysterious things that were happening to her. Hoping to document the haunting activity, she uploaded many of these recordings to a YouTube channel, and viewers have been left spooked.
Come on, move it again, please.
You wouldn't believe me if I said, because you'll think I'm losing the plot. I'm not. How is this possible? Guys, you've got to be seeing this. Who are you? What do you want? Are you restless? What do you want? Why won't you leave me alone? What is it you're trying to tell me? Guys, you're seeing this, aren't you? This is ridiculous. Guys, this is ridiculous. Listen. Why you? No. Sorry, guys. I'm just calling it.
These mysterious events scared Donna so much, it starts to have an effect on her mental health. But a cup falling off the counter and a coin moving around on its own weren't the only creepy incidents she caught on camera.
Are you seeing this? Twice. That's twice now. Here we are again. And this is what I've been doing since last night. And it just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Guys, what? Seriously, mate. That's the two pences, yeah? There is no string, there's no magnets, there's nothing. Look, there's nothing. Nothing. Look. Break. What do you want? Guys, are you seeing it? Whoa. How is that possible? Come on, it's in a jar. Wow. And if anybody's wondering, the lines on the roof that you can see there, these two lines here, they're the reflection of the chain there. There is nothing, there's nothing there. This is all happening around me, and I just capture it as it goes. I'm not used to it now. Check it out, that is amazing. Well, if that's you, Pops, thank you. Oh. Is that you, Dad? Yeah. Oh, I don't like that. If it is you, Pops, then thank you for letting me know you're here. I don't know what the dark feeling is though that I get every time you're about.
Donna desperately asks what the ghost might want, but gets no answer. However, as her chandelier is moving around, it seems to respond to her voice. It's around this time that she starts to believe that the activity is being caused by the ghost of her father, who passed away back in 2009. However, she can't help but wonder if all this really is because of her dad's ghost. Why is he scaring her so much? And why would he want to torment her like this? What happens next is even creepier.
I've now decided to put a bunch of keys on a tack, to see if they get moving banks, creaks, you name it. Not sleeping, waking up at 3 in the morning. I'll just show you, that there's nothing there. Just a regular bunch of keys. Just your average keys on a tack. There's the picture that got moved, and I'm getting a feeling again. Whoa! I knew that was going to happen. And there's nothing in my flat, is there not? No, of course not. There you have it again. Yeah, I'm just going to upload this and then I'm going to go into the front room and get the footage I've just got in there. Well, that scenario that's just happened. Oh, it's so cold in here. I hope I've got that, and I hope you see that, guys. No lies to this. This isn't a prank. This is real. This is happening to me. Scary actually, because being alone, my partner didn't come round for his day tomorrow, so I have to put it with all this going on, but I've managed to get quite a bit, so I just hope it's okay for you guys. I'll just keep posting as it comes. It's gone cold again. See, it's so strange. See, I can feel there's something here right now. And yet I don't. No one here. Yeah, there's no one around me.
By this point, Donna no longer thinks she's being visited by the ghost of her father, but by something much more sinister. Some viewers even speculate that she could be haunted by a demon or a mimic, an evil entity that copies the actions of living people to feed on fear. But if Donna's story wasn't enough to scare you, just wait until you see the next one. Willow Hunter, a man living in the UK, recently moved into a new house with his cat, Carrie. Right from the start, Carrie was acting strange. Willow thought this was odd because he's moved houses with Carrie before, and she adapted quickly to the new surroundings. At first, Willow brushes it off as his cat's struggling to settle into her new home. He hopes that, given time, she'll calm down and go back to her old self. But after about a week in the new house, Carrie's behaviour only gets worse.
When I first moved in, she was sat on the sofa right here and she just kept looking really fast into the corridor and then like just turning back and just acting normal and then just shooting up, like jumping down onto the floor to have a look in the corridor to see what's going on. Nothing going on. And then I went to bed on the same night. She started doing it when I was in the bed with her. And then when she did it, I heard this bang right after she'd looked. And that creeped me out a bit. But now, she's just refusing to go downstairs.
As Willow says, he and Carrie would be relaxing together when she would suddenly startle at something Willow couldn't see. Now it's got to the point where Carrie refuses to go downstairs, as if she's developed a sudden fear of the ground floor. Willow tries to entice her downstairs with treats, and even resorts to carrying her down a few times, but she always shoots back upstairs as soon as she can.
Come on. Why do you not want to go downstairs, Corey? Come on. Oh man. Oh, she doesn't want to go on. She doesn't want to leave. Come here. Oh man. Right, I'm going to carry her downstairs and see if she'll go downstairs this way. Right. There you go, Corey, there's your food. She did come down for a taste of it earlier, but she came down, had a little bite, and I came down. She just freaked out and ran upstairs. Corey. Come on. Come back down. She's just straight back upstairs. Not interested in whatever's down here. Well, like I said, I'm not big into ghosts and stuff. Not really a big believer in that kind of stuff, but it's giving me creepy vibes.
Willow says he's skeptical of the paranormal and doesn't normally believe in ghosts, but Carrie's behaviour is starting to concern him, and he claims to be getting a creepy vibe in the house. To find out if there really is something that is scaring her downstairs, Willow installs a camera to monitor the room, and that very night, their camera captures this.
because Corey was peeping her head around the corner. She didn't want to come downstairs. So that's Corey there. Who the f is that? Look. I only have...
Although Carrie can be seen at the top of the stairs, another cat appears to be in the kitchen. As Willow says, he only has one cat. So who is this? Willow is now sure that something abnormal is going on in his house. He's skeptical of the paranormal, but even he is struggling to come up with a logical explanation for all of this. Water parks and amusement parks around the world have had some tragic accidents over the years, and because of this, some of these parks are said to be haunted by the ghosts of those who passed away there. One water park in the Czech Republic recently put out what was supposed to be a promotional video on social media, but viewers quickly noticed something that they think could be evidence of a ghost caught on camera. Watch closely. As the cameraman enters the slide, someone's foot can be seen, but we never see it come back up. The cameraman was directly behind this person, so we should expect to see them surface for air. But instead, the cameraman acts like nothing happened, continuing down the slide as if no one was there. Some viewers have come to a more unsettling conclusion. This might have been a ghost, the spirit of someone who passed away on that same slide in the past, invisible to the naked eye, but somehow visible on camera. And this next clip is even more disturbing. Back in June 2017, a group of friends inadvertently captured something frightening on camera. They were hanging out together one night when one of them started recording with his phone camera. At first, everything seemed fine, but then the mood shifted and this was caught on camera. Feeling uneasy, the group begin to search the house to locate the source of the noise. They check everywhere, going room to room, until they eventually find something. Something that looks unsettlingly like a figure wrapped in white fabric can be seen in a corner. As soon as the group see it, they get the hell out of there and the video abruptly ends. The one who recorded everything claims the figure was a pocong, a ghost from Indonesian folklore. Pocongs are said to look like the bodies of people who passed away. They appear wrapped in white burial shrouds and are believed to chase the living. When the clip was shared to social media, several viewers agreed with the uploader that this mysterious figure could be a pocong. However, many also accused the uploader of faking the video for views. But whatever the case, it's pretty creepy. Sometimes, ghosts are caught on camera completely by accident. A Chilean woman named Cindy was at a family party late one night. It should have been nothing but a happy time, especially when Cindy's grandfather pulled out his guitar and started playing. Cindy wanted to record the happy moment to look back on, so that's what she did. But as she recorded, she ended up capturing something else.
Ah, te falta practicar. Ah, ya.
Para colgar en el TikTok. Para no te falles porque te voy a colgar en el TikTok. En el pecho se arranca volando. La capibara va a salir en el TikTok.
Estamos bailando.
Ni se miraba el paso, tu barriga nomás pasaba así.
¿Como gelatina? Ya deja de estar jodiéndome.
Entre los
Yo le decía.
Entre los canales yo te conocí.
No se puede.
Y Sanquita punto Payani. Y Sanquita punto Payani.
What looks like an apparition of someone can be seen outside the open window right behind Cindy's grandfather. No one at the party notices anything unusual. The grandfather keeps playing, completely unaware of what's lurking just behind him. Cindy didn't see it either, not until she watched the footage back later, and when she saw it, she felt a chill run down her spine. Cindy believes what she captured that night was something paranormal. In fact, she is convinced it was the spirit of her grandmother, who passed away a year before this video was recorded. But what do you think? Could this be her grandmother's ghost, watching over the family from beyond the grave? Cindy is convinced that's exactly what it is. And what makes this even more compelling is that Cindy isn't the only one who may have caught evidence of a family member's ghost on camera, as you're about to see in the next clip. Pete Ramirez runs a tattoo studio in Mexico, which he claims is haunted. It all began late one night. Pete's last customer had already left, and he's just about to leave the studio. He's just locked the door and starts to walk away when he realizes he's forgotten his phone charger. He heads back to the studio and digs around in his pocket for the keys to unlock the door. But then he hears something coming from inside the studio. He goes back inside to check if anyone's there, but the studio is completely empty. Thinking he must have imagined those sounds, Pitt heads back outside, but before he can leave, this happens.
Buenas noches, amigos. Oigan, miren, vine aquí al local porque se me olvidó mi cargador. Y ahorita que venía aquí casi por el bote de basura, oí que patearon la puerta. Y me puse a grabar, pero empecé a notar en la persiana que se movía. Miren, parece que se oye como se mueve la persiana, o sea, cómo cruje. Entonces ese polvo es polvo de la calle. Es que es una calle de, pues es de tierra. ¿Qué les dije a la verga? Miren, voy a entrar. Miren, para que vean que no hay nadie adentro. Todo en una toma. Ay, perdón con mis 20,000 vueltas, pero es una llave de seguridad. Miren. O sea, no ha salido nadie, miren. Voy a entrar, voy a cerrar la puerta rápido. Miren. Voy a prender aquí la luz. Y miren, no hay nadie.
As Pitt looks at the front door, a slit appears in the closed blinds as if someone is peeking out, and eagle-eyed viewers even think they see a shadowy face in the darkness. Pitt goes inside the studio, but there's no one there. A few seconds later, something else happens, and it sends a chill down Pitt's spine.
Para que no digan que hay alguien adentro, no sé qué tanto. Ay, güey. Bueno. Ay, es que eso de la persiana sí lo había escuchado saliendo de aquí del local, pero la verdad no le ponía mucha atención. Miren, tuve que cambiar un poco las cosas del lugar porque cada año, pues, acomodar todo, ¿no? Me voy a asomar al baño para que vean que no hay nadie. Oiga, ¿cómo está la puerta? Me traje el espejo aquí al baño. Miren, voy a cerrar atrás la puerta para que vean que no pasa nadie. Me traje el espejo aquí al baño porque estoy remodelando, estoy reacomodando todo. Miren, no hay nadie. Miren, miren. Que no digan que hay alguien escondido. Miren, yo estoy dentro del baño, no hay nadie. No hay nadie. Ok, miren. grabando así, que ven que no va a salir nadie. Miren. O sea, la puerta no se ha oído, no se ve nadie. Digan de que hay alguien en el baño. En el espejo lo tuve que acomodar, está aquí colgado porque es un poquito más cómodo. Miren, está en pijama ya. Noches con la misma pijama. Pero si quieren regalarme una, estaría hecha. Ay, cabrón, batí la pinche silla. Dicen que por qué no prendo la luz luego, que porque esto no sé qué. Explíquenme eso. No se ha ido la puerta, no se ha ido nada. Se cerró la puerta, se abrió la persiana. A ver, explíquenlo. Desde que volví a traer el espejo al baño, la verdad es diferente el miedo. Cuando estaban juntos era un poquito más relajado. No sé, pasaba algo. Pero estando aquí en el baño, como que le gustó más el frío. Porque este baño es muy frío porque tiene mucho azulejo. No, ya, miren, voy a apagar, voy a cerrar porque sí, la verdad, está un poquito feo esto. Que yo venía por el cargador y no, ya mejor yo ya me voy. No, bueno, pues, buenas noches amigos, pero vean, para que no digan que hay gente adentro.
The bathroom door seems to move all on its own. Once again, Pitt goes to check it out, and once again, there's nothing there. Moments later, a sudden noise catches Pitt's attention. And then, the bathroom door swings shut. All of this makes Pitt think that his tattoo studio is haunted by a ghost. So, did Pitt capture evidence of something paranormal? You decide. Jamie Connolly recently moved into a new home with her husband and their baby. It should have been an exciting time, but almost immediately, they started experiencing something disturbing. At night, Jamie claims she and her husband could hear what sounded like a woman crying. The sound seemed to come from outside, but every time they checked, there was nothing there. Determined to figure out what was happening, they installed a Ring doorbell camera. They hoped it might capture whatever was making those sounds, and late one night, the camera picked up something chilling. Jamie and her husband were jolted awake by a notification from the camera. It had detected motion, as if someone was standing at their door. A pale figure appears on the screen. It's visible for less than a second before it vanishes. Jamie's husband immediately got out of bed to check outside, but he couldn't see anything. Together, they watched the doorbell camera footage again and noticed something disturbing. The woman appears to be holding something. Jamie thinks it looks like a baby, and the woman's neck looks unsettlingly twisted. Jamie is now certain her home is haunted by the spirit of a woman who met a tragic end, and that this is her. But What do you think? Reddit user Bianca5150 believes she may have inadvertently caught a ghost on camera. Bianca explains that she is the owner of several dogs. They are usually well behaved, but recently, Bianca had noticed that whenever she leaves them alone for a few hours, she comes home to find the house in a complete mess. She assumed the mess must have been made by one of her dogs. So, to find out exactly what was going on, Bianca set up cameras around her house. However, one of the cameras recorded something that Bianca did not expect. A little after 6 PM, Bianca received a motion alert and decided to take a quick look at the camera feed. This is what she saw. Instead of one of her dogs, the camera captured what appears to be a tall shadow in the hallway. But according to Bianca, there should have been no one but the dog's home at the time. What's even stranger is that if someone had broken in, not only would the dogs have barked, but the cameras would have recorded someone going in and out. But there was nothing. This has led Bianca to speculate that her home could be haunted by a ghost. So perhaps it wasn't her dogs that were making a mess, but whatever this is.